What's up, everybody? Geekopedia here. Welcome back for another video today. So you're probably thinking, wow, Geekopedia, the angle is a lot different. Well, I got a new camera stand, so I hope you guys like it. I've been playing around with it for a little bit, so I'm going to be using this for my videos in the foreseeable future. So with that said, this video is going to be my spoiler-filled review for the new Netflix anime series, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Alrighty, I'm super excited for this one. But before we get to it, I need you to like this video right now and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, or else your romantic partner's 7 evil exes are gonna come and kick your ass, okay? No, you don't want that, okay? You don't want the relationship drama, okay? So if you want to prevent all that, you need to like this video right now. Did you do it? Great, I'm proud of you. Alrighty, so I feel like I don't really talk about it a lot, but I am like a huge fan of Scott Pilgrim and his like little universe that he inhabits. I first got into it when I watched the 2010 film Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is probably one of my favorite movies ever. I really love the movie, I really love the story, and I really love the characters. So when I heard that we were going to get an anime series based on Scott Pilgrim, I was super excited, and I was looking so forward to it. And I got even more hyped when it was announced that the cast of the 2010 film was reprising their roles in this series. So I was super excited for that. And finally it came out yesterday, and I gotta tell you, my thoughts on it are mostly positive, but like I said, here we go. Here's some spoilers. So first episode it's an 8-episode long show, but the first episode, in my opinion, is probably the weakest of them all, only because it's mostly like a full adaptation of the entire story up to Scott Pilgrim's first battle with Ramona's first evil ex, Matthew Patel, who, I gotta say, Matthew Patel, he was always one of my favorite evil exes. I liked his song and dance routine in the film, so I really love what the show did with him in this, which I'll get to in a moment, because this series goes in a direction that I don't think anybody anticipated. So, yeah, episode 1, in my opinion, is probably the weakest of the 8 episodes, only because it's mostly like a full-on adaptation of everything up to the battle with Matthew Patel. Although I was a little bit mixed on it, because it felt like it was kind of rushing some things. Like, it wasn't as detailed as the film adaptation was, which made sense in the long run, because I feel like they were trying to get their way to the twist of the series, which is, get ready for it. In this series, Scott Pilgrim loses his battle with Matthew Patel, whereas in the original graphic novel and in the movie, he wins his battle with Matthew Patel, which, I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not see that coming, okay? I don't think anybody saw that coming, because all the trailers and all the stuff that Netflix put out about the show, about like the cast, what they put out, everybody was like anticipating this to be like another straightforward adaptation of the graphic novel, sort of like how the film was. So I don't think a lot of people were anticipating the direction it went instead. So the series kind of acts like a what-if scenario, where Scott Pilgrim lost his battle with Matthew Patel, and like how all their lives would be different. But of course, the other main plot is Ramona. She thinks that Scott is still alive, and of course it turns out he is alive, because his future Scott Pilgrim kidnapped present Scott Pilgrim to prevent him from like winning Ramona, because like they're trying to like risk heartbreak or something like that. Which I'm gonna be honest with you. At first, when I first saw the twist, and as I was seeing it go at first, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I really liked the movie. I've read most of the books. I haven't read all the books, but I have read most of them. And so I have the general feel of what Scott Pilgrim is all about. But even then, I wasn't a huge fan of the twist at first. But as it kept going, I really liked it. Probably the biggest thing I loved about this is how it developed the 7 evil exes, which I liked their characters in the movie. I always thought they were so funny, so different, and so unique from each other that I was always left wanting a little bit more. Like, I wanted to see a little bit more from him, and this series gives us exactly that. Matthew Patel, who, like I said, is probably one of my favorites of the Evil X's, who was in the movie for like 5 minutes. He's like, they make him like one of the main antagonists of this series because in episode like 2 or 3, he takes Gideon's like company and everything, and he leads the League of Evil X's. So I thought that was so cool. I thought that was really funny and a nice twist. And then we get development on both Matthew Patel and even Gideon. I was surprised about Gideon, to be honest with you. We were learned that his real name is Gordon, and he goes on like this little emotional arc where he has to like learn about himself, kind of like that, where he has kind of like when he lost to Matthew Patel, he kind of like that kind of knocked him down from like his pillar where he had himself at, so it kind of humbled him a little bit. So we get to see that little journey that he goes through. So I thought that was really fun and really interesting. Then Lucas Lee, probably my second favorite of the Evil X's. He gets a lot of development in this, which I was shocked by. And I love Chris Evans as Lucas Lee. I loved it in the movie, and I loved him in here too. So, then probably another thing I really liked was the screen time they gave to Wallace, which I know I said Matthew Patel was my favorite of the Evil X's, but Wallace was my favorite character in the books, in the movie, and in this show too. So, Wallace, I love the character. He goes on like, Wallace, he develops like a romantic relationship with Todd, Envy's like boyfriend who has the superpowers because he's vegan. They develop like a little romantic fling for a little bit, which I thought that was funny. I thought it was so cool and well developed too. Like, I was shocked because it only lasts for an episode, but they make it so well. Like, I was actually rooting for them to get back together sometime in the series, which sadly they don't. But dang, I was like rooting for them the whole time. I'm like, I hope they get back together because they were like, it was so cool, like, seeing them interact with each other. Then, probably what I really liked the most about this was the development that they gave for Ramona. In actuality, this is probably Ramona's show. We get to see her develop through this series because she's trying to figure out what happened to Scott. And with Scott, when he mysteriously vanished, and she thinks he's still alive because she hears his voice through, like, the subspace. So we see her, like, go through, like, this little journey where she kind of has to confront her past, which, in my opinion, was really cool. It really, like, brings her full circle to development that she had in both the books and the movie, where it was like she didn't know if she wanted to be with Scott because her past with her evil exes were always going to pursue her, and she didn't want to, like, hurt her future lovers. And in this series, she finally, in a way, kind of confronts that in a way that she didn't in the movies. And I really liked it here. And it kind of makes the ending where Scott and Ramona get back together, like, feel a lot more earned. Like, it felt earned in the end of the book and the film. I'm not saying that, but it just kind of adds more to it in this series. So, with that, I loved this series. I didn't like it at first. I will admit myself, I didn't like it at first. But if you view this as, like another universe kind of thing, you know how, like, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, they're both Spider-Man, but in, like, 2 different universes, so where their stories don't, like, interact with each other. That's kind of how this series works. You got the movie Scott Pilgrim, and then you have this series Scott Pilgrim. They're 2 different, like, timelines, 2 different universes, they're 2 different things. If you view it like that, you'll like this a lot better, which I did. I really liked it. So, with that, I'm going to give this series about a 7.5 out of 10. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. My next review is going to be about Monarch. You know, with the new Godzilla series, that's part of the Monsterverse. I cannot wait for you guys to hear my thoughts on that. Remember, God loves you, and I love you too, and I will see you guys next time.